What should a driver who's had too much alcohol to drink before getting behind the wheel, what should that driver do if police in Michigan pull him or her over? What advice could a lawyer give to that person? First, the driver should remember that the officer is looking for probable cause. A police officer in Michigan needs probable cause to arrest a person for drunk driving. Incriminating things that a driver does and says will help the officer find probable cause. So the first thing to do is to remain calm. If a driver is not calm, she may give the officer a reason to believe that she's under the influence of alcohol, even if the amount she drank did not rise to an unlawful level. Well, staying calm is easier said than done, but a driver should try her best. The second thing a driver should do is to be polite. However, being polite doesn't mean offering full disclosure. What a driver says can be used against her. The driver is probably being recorded when the officer talks to her. If a driver's speech is slurred, she's probably giving the officer evidence. A driver should be careful about what she says and how she says it. But let's face it, being stopped by the police is a stressful time for a driver. Even a completely sober person will have a hard time maintaining a steady voice. And there are other reasons why a sober driver may be giving off the mistaken impression that she's intoxicated. An attorney can help a driver articulate these kinds of issues later in the legal process. A lawyer can advocate for a driver accused of drunk driving. The driver does not have to face that charge alone. However, at this point when they are pulled over by the police, drivers are on their own. Drivers in Michigan do not have a right to a lawyer during their initial interaction with police officers following a motor vehicle stop. We do not have a right to a lawyer until the officer has us in custody and begins to interrogate us. Furthermore, an officer is not required to read the famous Miranda warning until the police officer places the person in custody and begins to interrogate her. Custody and interrogation are other complex legal concepts that a lawyer can help you understand as they apply to your particular case. Do not assume that you know what custody and interrogation mean. At this point, the driver may be inclined to believe that staying silent and not talking to the officer is good advice, because there's a good chance that the driver will undermine her self-interest. Just opening her mouth might let the police officer smell alcohol. And with the odor of alcohol on a driver's breath, the officer has something that could lead to probable cause, even if odor alone would probably not be sufficient for a conviction at trial. Perhaps the driver should just open the window a crack, toss her license and proof of insurance out the window, and quick close the window so the driver can't smell her breath. But it's not that simple. An officer may be able to build probable cause to believe that a driver is intoxicated from the driver's reluctance to cooperate. That's why it's impossible for a good lawyer to recommend general advice to a hypothetical motorist at this point in the stop. What might be good advice to one particular driver may be bad advice to another. That being said, it may be possible for a lawyer to help the driver mitigate the effects of what the driver said or didn't say after the fact.